I bought a $20,000 first-class airplane ticket from New York to Paris just to taste the food on board. Well, okay, technically it was $18,656.97. Close enough. I know it sounds crazy, but before you judge, you're gonna wanna see what they serve on board. Either way, I'm already at the airport and it's too late to back out now. In fact, I showed up so early, worried I'd miss a flight the price of a decent car. There were no attendants at the gate yet, and my flight was Air France's first of the day, so I had to wait. I grabbed a quick crispy chicken sandwich at McDonald's, quite ironic given what I'm about to eat on the plane, and I waited. Finally, a few attendants showed up and I headed to check-in, which was this special area off to the side for their La Premiere fare. There was even a lounge to sit and wait in as they checked my bags in. And eventually, I was escorted all the way through the airport. They even brought me from this fancy secret room to security. And finally, I made it to the pre-flight lounge, where I sat and was given a menu that's fancier than at most high-end restaurants. And keep in mind, this is the pre-flight meal. Supposedly nothing compared to the actual thing on the plane. I selected foie gras, a fancy French dish made of duck liver that can cost around $50 a pound, as well as the mushroom risotto, which was fantastic. I even got a nice selection of French cheeses, and the butter was delicious. I ate the whole thing plain.
What?
I think we're about to board, so I'm gonna go get ready. It's time to fly. So I'm on the plane, I have my own little spot here and I got on before everybody else, but they're very, very kind and they said that I can film all the food. I don't know if you all know this, but I'm very shy, so I was a little bit nervous, but we're gonna be good. I'm gonna film this whole thing for you all. There are only 4 seats in first class on this plane, so it's gonna be very quiet, and apparently that's what makes it so special. The food is curated by a 3 Michelin-starred chef, and they even have a wine program on board. And I love French. The amuse-bouche was very simple. I would say a really nice light way to start off the meal. I also didn't think I'd like the little bite of toast as much as I did, but in reality, it was a really high quality piece of prosciutto. After this, we moved on to the potato soup dish, which I have to say blew me away. It was creamy, refined, and they've given just the perfect amount of soup. And I'm really not a soup guy, yet I had absolutely no problem finishing this entire bowl of soup. After that is when things really went up a level. Aside from a really nice high-end white wine, they brought over caviar, and not just any caviar. They gave me an entire tin of caviar to myself, which is unheard of. You never get to have the whole thing yourself. Yet suddenly here I was, on an airplane and eating a whole thing of caviar alone. The second I opened the caviar, I knew it was high quality. The eggs were perfect and shiny, and none of them had popped, spilling that oily mess all over the jar. Instead, the pearls were all perfect and intact, and the caviar tasted just as good as it looked. Once or twice, I also looked to my left and right to make sure no one was watching, even though no one's seated to my left, and just ate a giant spoonful. The French take their food seriously, and I don't know what they think of this. Next up was this delicious salad, which had a wide range of things in it. I saw radishes, baby shrimp, cucumber, even these nice hunks of cheese. I wasn't as happy about this really long red pepper that was in there, but I never get too upset if I find things like that in my food because it's so easy to fix. That's why you've got a knife. In the end, I felt like it would be nice to give the salad a rating. Of all the salads I've ever had in my life, this is probably a good 7.5 or 8 out of 10. One funny thing with my salad is that I kept thinking there was a hair in it, which there wasn't. It was just the logo on the plate, but you have to admit, that kind of looks like one. And it's basically my one and only pet peeve with food. Just when I thought I couldn't get any more excited about how well this airplane food was done, the server came with my fish entree, and he removed the silver dome to reveal a beautifully plated fish. I got to pour over my own creamy, fragrant sauce and immediately started trying to get the well-rounded bite, a phrase I've coined to describe the perfect bite that includes every element of the dish you're eating. The fish was cooked extremely well, although I will say that the mashed potatoes were a little bit sad. Even the salt and pepper shakers are so fancy, I kind of want to take one home. To finish things off, I was offered a simple cheese plate, which I think had some of the things similar to what I ate in the pre-flight lounge. And all I really have is one simple comment. My suggestion, not that I can give the French any food advice, would be to remove the lettuce on the plate. After all, sometimes simple is best. And wouldn't you agree the plate looks better this way? I polished off my white wine, and it was time to get ready for bed. You know, it's funny, just when I thought I was done with the meal, they wouldn't let me go on without dessert, and I got a beautiful chocolate mousse. So here's the deal, it's time for bed now, and I think I mentioned that there's only 4 seats in all of La Premiere, and everybody else is asleep besides me. And that's why I'm being pretty quiet, but it also tells me that I should probably get some sleep because it's quite late. They gave me the extra large sleep kit. I'm not mad about it. I'm a big guy. They could have asked. I might have said large, but I'm cool with it. Before bed, I wanted to open this little goodie thing that they give you, and I have no idea what's inside. The whole thing slides open like this. And first up, it looks like I got a comb. I'm gonna give this thing a spin right now. I guess this is just if you want to do a little bit of in-flight styling. It's just a nice wood comb. I'll probably keep it. Then we got ourselves a sleep mask. What looks to be some sort of lotion. Actually, it's a bunch of lotions. And I gotta say, this one looks kind of fancy. Maybe I'll head to the bathroom before bed and practice my skincare routine. There's also this pair of earplugs, as well as this very heavy, very fancy looking pen. Maybe I'll take notes when breakfast rolls around, because I'm actually looking forward to hopefully answering one simple question at breakfast. Will they have a croissant? And will it be that perfect buttery, flaky croissant that I always think of as coming from Paris? I guess we'll find out shortly. Time for bed. It's morning, I've just gotten up. It's actually not a terribly long flight, and it got a little bumpy in the middle, so I didn't sleep at all. And I hate flying. However, let's see what a $20,000 breakfast in the sky looks like. For breakfast, I chose the French toast. When the French toast arrived, I was excited that, like the entree, it was covered by that silver dome, which often signifies something special. Yet, like our mashed potatoes from earlier, it just looked sad. But you know me, good food is good food. And all it took was one bite to change my tune. It was soft, custardy, buttery, a very unique take on French toast, yet so delicious. But next came perhaps the most important test of the day. Would the croissant pass the flakiness test? Indeed it did. In addition to tasting great, that thing sent flakes all over my lap. And that, to me, is the true test of a good croissant. Next came the beautiful fruit salad, which looks simple, but I have to say might be the prettiest dish yet. I look at orange and grapefruit supremes as the epitome of luxury. So much effort is required to make each individual perfect piece. And without the skin they normally have, the texture is completely different. Sadly, I then tasted the orange juice, which to my surprise was not freshly squeezed. I finished out my breakfast with a bit more tea and a bit of brioche, and then on came the captain who said we'd be landing shortly. I've switched seats now because I had two, so I might as well try out this one too. To close things out, based on what I've experienced today, I actually think high-end dining on airplanes are quite similar. You're paying a lot of money for the experience. Oftentimes I've just noticed that the staff are far more attentive, totally on top of all your wants and needs, and they've really thought of everything. I'm not going to be doing this every day, but at least now I can say that I've experienced the best of the best when it comes to dining in the sky, and so can you. I think we're landing, so I gotta go, but as always, happy cooking.